Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Say hello if you can hear me. Give me a hot or rot if you can hear me. Give me how many hot flames you're feeling today in the chat. Let me grab my water. Hope everybody has a snack, a drink, your sanity, your clarity. Welcome in, welcome in. Tell me where you're chatting from and make sure to like the video, say something in chat so we can get it boosted in the algorithm so people get their notifications so that people can join in. We'll give everybody like 5 minutes or so. Yes, we got some eyeliner on today. Maybe a little crazy with it. What do you think? I'm like looking back at this in the camera. Like a little much. Little kooky crazy, but you know. Doing something. At least you're doing something. Ash, you just got home from work with your Chipotle? Oh, and a nice early work day. Chipotle sounds so good. Maybe I'll have that for dinner. Tell me what you got on your bowl. I am Bethan, finally getting to join one of these. You're watching from the UK. Wow, it's early evening for you. Welcome from the UK. Hi Alex, bonjour from Montreal. Hi everybody. We have somebody from Price? Wait, Riot Panda, what is Price? I don't know where that is. MM said hi Gabe from backstage at the Met. Wow, y'all are really everywhere today, huh? Jordan said bonjour from France. Hello to France. What's going on in France today? Hi from Scotland. Hi from Sweden. Oh, Riot meant to say Paris. Okay, got it. Wow, several people from Paris today. Hello, am I saying that right? Hi from Rochester. How y'all doing? Alex, yes, the Francophones are in the chat. We had Paris, we have Montreal. Hi, also from Sweden. Mariah Carey's also in Paris today. Everybody's in Paris today. Chat, press 1 if you're live chatting from the Eiffel Tower. Good place to be, I would imagine. It is cold today. We had a cold front in New York as well. Bruin saying, meanwhile, I'm stuck in the hellhole of Utah. I went there one time. Wasn't that bad. It was cute. I don't know that I would want to stay there, but it was really pretty, actually. So hello, hello, welcome in. Say hello in the chat, like the video so we can get this boosted in the algorithm, get everybody to get their notifications. Callie, you're thankful the sun is out. Me as well, although the sun is starting to set. There's like really early days here in New York. I like have not been used to. When I was in Texas, every day it was like 100 degrees. Every day was sunshine all day. Everybody drink your water, grab a snack. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Were you gagging? Were you choking? Were you spitting? Callie, you miss Texas sometimes. There are things that I will always love about Texas, and there are things that I will always dislike about Texas. It has its perks, you know, it can be very nice. But I was happy to get out of a red state for sure. Chloe saying hello from Pittsburgh. Sun is high in the sky. Beautiful, beautiful day. Dean asking about that lip sync song choice. That I really love that they did that Crazy Frog song, but we will talk more about that near the end of the video for sure. I love a non-traditional lip sync choice. Because I mean, when you go see Queens in the Club, I mean, most people are not just performing a song. They're doing some kind of mix, some kind of craziness. Okay, so today we're obviously going to be reviewing episode 5, RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World Series 3. I heard a lot of people saying that they were really loving the episode. I saw some people saying that it made them feel like old school Drag Race. There was a really good reading challenge. There was a lot that they did right this week for sure. I think the queens all had a really good week. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and record my intro for the YouTube that gets edited. Lisa saying my hair looks amazing. Thank you. I had it redone a week ago, and then contact is bothering me. Then I always have to go back and like retouch my hair myself. Nobody can ever quite get it exactly like I want it. I think I found the culprit. God, contacts and makeup do not mix. Especially when like the chunky eyeliner stuff just gets like stuck in the little lens. Thankfully I use daily so I can just throw them away when I'm done, but ooh, mess. Go to Argentina, how you doing? Hi Jess, how you doing? Everybody welcome in, welcome in. Okay. Generally Claire, so would you ever do little devil horns like the only Naomi? You mean like in my hair? I could try it. Why not? It's really cute. You know who also does that is Aquaria will do that with like the flat. And then I think she like shaves the sides of her heads too. I really like Aquaria's hair, her boy hair. Like a little, there's like, it's like a double faux hawk almost. I don't know if y'all have seen that. Hi Naja, how you doing? Nice to see you in chat. Sam, can we get married? Let's get somebody to officiate. Let's get it going. We'll do the first YouTube live stream marriage. Actually, has that been done? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and record the intro for the video and then we can get started. Do I have any suggestions for what my name should be today? I was trying to think of a way to do like Crazy Frog, but it doesn't really work. Like Bussy Frog, Crazy Bus. We could do Crazy Bus. We'll do Crazy Bus. It's not as like creative, but Naja, I'm glad you're back. Hi to Portugal, Gonquoto. Crazy Brog. I know, it's like frog doesn't it only really works well with names that have like multiple syllables. Busrog, maybe? We'll do Busrog. Crazy Busrog. Okay, we're gonna do Crazy Busrog. We're gonna invent that. Okay. Hey y'all, it's me, Crazy Busrog, and welcome back to Hot or Rot. And today we're going to be reviewing episode 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World Series 3, where our queens were challenged to overact in silent movies, Ain't Nothing But the Rent, and Up the Aisle. And the runway category was Shevil villains, looks inspired by iconic villains from movie franchises. How was that? So we'll, of course, be going queen by queen to break all that down, but first we do have some workroom drama that I want to talk through regarding last week's controversial Chippy T decision that found Kate Butch in some hot water. So you'll remember last week we saw Kate Butch, or Fake Butch as Sminty called her, give the Chippy T to Mariah instead of her UK sister, Sminty, and explaining this controversial decision, Kate says, I didn't pick Sminty because I was scared that she would be mad if I didn't pick her, and I didn't want to make the choice out of fear. What do we think about that? Because personally, this logic did not make any sense to me. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? She didn't want to make a choice out of fear? This to me was her just like working those little producer wheels and thinking about how she could give good TV, which like at the end of the day I was very thankful for because it was like exciting television, but it definitely did suck for Sminty. We also saw Goblin calling this out while Kate was running through that kind of backwards logic, literally saying it's not logical, it doesn't make any sense, because the tea is that it didn't. We also had the other girls on the couch calling her out as well, where Zahira was saying, well, I thought you said last week we're going to be making decisions based on track record. And Sminty has been in the top two. So what's the tea with that? And we also hear Kate reply to that saying, well, there was a huge list of ingredients, apparently she was going shopping, that factored into her decision. She also said that she was least entertained by Sminty last week. Again, this all just read to me as her backtracking and trying to look for a reason, an excuse, if you will, for why she didn't give the Chippy tea, rather than just explaining that she wanted to maybe knock somebody that was doing well in the competition out. Because I really think that's what she wanted to do. Let's see what y'all thought. Callie said, I think she disliked Mariah more. She definitely was playing. See, and that's the other thing. Last week, she was explaining that she chose to give the Chippy tea to Mariah because she wanted to see more of her in the workroom. And so we see this like back and forth with her and all these different reasons now that are coming out of the woodwork about why she gave the Chippy tea to Mariah. But like, is any of it making sense? Is any of it coming together cohesively? I don't think so. Now, I was just saying the vocal fry here was crazy though, all of them at the same time. I am loving how Goblin is picking up these like British accents, and also Fontana's picking up some of the Britishisms. They're all saying babes, and Goblin is doing the vocal fry like Sminty was doing before. Like they are all just picking up that British slang and sensibility. It's very entertaining. Callie said blame it on the edit. I think there's some blaming it on the edit going on for sure. Not just that I keep forgetting Mariah's on this season. Well, she had a really great week this week that we'll talk about. ZZ said, I actually don't think she gave it to her because she likes it more. She wanted a strong UK girl out so she could be the final UK girl. That's how I saw it too. I think she's just not being honest to the rest of the group for whatever reason. I mean, I think to keep a competitive edge is the real reason, but she just is not explaining that and being forthcoming with it. So we also had, well, okay, of the bottom girls, Sminty had the best critiques, as Zahira calls out. And then we finally have Fontana saying, I'm kind of shocked there's no UK alliance. So this was also gaggy because then the editors cut in from the very first week where all of the girls are actually, all the UK girls are telling each other that they have each other's backs. And so we have Kate here saying, I don't think we ever had a capital A alliance. But then the editors do this. Zahira saying, you were the weak one that came and grabbed me. And then we see the editor cut in of every single one of the UK girls saying, I've got your backs, I've got your backs, I've got your backs. I love that the editors were like being shady and kind of throwing that in her face here. Because even if she didn't remember saying this, I mean, she did say it. She did say, I've got your backs. That's the team. And that's the team. Generally Claire saying the editor's doing her job. Yep. Just saying again, sure, Jan. Oh, God. Hey Gold saying the girls have been saying that they would head back to their hotel high-fiving each other after making good TV. They know they're making good TV. They know what they're doing. They're playing it smart. And also, I think the real tea is they know that they're not going to be crowning another UK queen this season. Like, let's be so honest about that. They did 2 UK queens in the past, the 3rd season. It just wouldn't look great, I think, to do it again. So, there's that. So, of course, Zahira called out the dirty gameplay. And then we have a final confessional from Kate in this segment saying, well, last time I played nice, and where did that get me? So, yeah, the girls are giving the good, they're giving the gag, they're giving the good TV. We also had a really great mini challenge this episode. They did the classic reading challenge, and this has been so hit or miss for me on recent seasons of Drag Race across all the different franchises. And I don't know if that's because the girls just don't know each other well enough to do reads. I don't know if reading has become a lost art. I don't know if everybody lost their library card. Whatever it was, they've been tough to watch, but this one was really great. And Naomi ends up winning with some really funny reads to Fontana, where says you've had so much filler, your face has a 15-minute reaction for your expressions. And then the better one I thought was when she looked at Mariah and she said, good to see Americans do recycle their trash. It's just a shame they sent it to the UK. So that was great to me. Little read on the Americans. We deserve it. Browder's saying it's all the public library closures. They have been closing those libraries. Open up the libraries. Get the kids in school. We are losing the art of reading. Jess said, right, I love when the girls go in. They've been so boring. I think on a normal Drag Race season, there's an issue with the queens coming with these like pre-prepared reads. I think some of them have even talked about how they purchase like jokes from good joke writers, and then they just end up sounding so generic in the challenge. And it's like, give me something a little more specific. Give me something a little more cutting. Show me that you know these people a little bit better. Because I was actually thinking back to like the original seasons of Drag Race. The reading challenges were so good. I think partly because the queens were older and more used to reading. And I think also in part because the queens used to know each other more coming into the season. Whereas these days it feels like there's a lot of people who have no idea who each other are. Okay. That's the tea. So Naomi actually wins the reading challenge, I think very deservedly so. And she gets the privilege of making the teams today for the Silent Films acting challenge. And she chooses to have Mariah, Zahira, and Kate in her group, and then puts Goblin, Serena, and Fontana in the other group. So first up, we'll be talking about the girls that did Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent, which was the group led by Naomi. And first up in this group, we have the one, the only Naomi, who in this acting movie was playing the baby, as we can see very clearly with her little bonnet that she's got on. The way she's done her makeup, I think, was very smart and overemphasized these, like, you know, the freckles. Everything was very drag baby. I think this was a great character to pick. This character felt really fleshed out and definitely overacted. Every single shot you can see Naomi is just giving the biggest facial expressions, the biggest body movements. Like, she knew that there were not going to be any words, and she said, let me give it my all. I was really proud to see her do so well in the challenge this week. Callie said she was definitely feeling the character. Absolutely was. I think she was one of the strongest in this group, actually. And I thought she was kind of robbed this week for only being called out as safe. But what did y'all think? Personally, I will say it was a lot. Like, she did do a lot. But that was also kind of what the challenge was calling for. And so I'm really sitting in like a 4 or 5 flame situation for her. Let me know what y'all are thinking. How many flames did you give this? What did you think about Naomi's acting job here? Hey Gold saying, am I alone in thinking Naomi should have taken the win tonight? I definitely think Naomi could have been in the top tonight. And I was really surprised to see her called out as safe. I was. Naja only giving 3.5. Michelle. Hi Michelle, your beau. How you doing? Nice to see you. I think some 4s, 4.5s. I think 4.5 is fair. 4.5. But definitely a hot performance for me. I can definitely see where she was at a level above everybody else, energetically speaking. But I appreciated that, you know? I really liked that she was entertaining every time the camera was on her. I was sitting about 4.5 as well for you as well. We'll do a solid 4. So we'll do a solid 4 flame. Okay, next up, we have the only Naomi's Runway, which was an homage to the iconic villain, the Joker. And we've seen the Joker in media in various forms. In the cartoon form, I always think of green and purple when I think of the Joker. And I was kind of surprised to not see her incorporate any green in this outfit. She stuck with just the purple and orange interpretation. I think she has some green on the nails. You know, there's like little details that are green, but I wanted a little more green. The other thing that I didn't immediately love was the hair. It didn't feel like it made a lot of sense for me. That said, the outfit I thought was so chic, very fashionable. I loved how tightly it's fitting her in here. That little bustle train moment I think is really pretty. The different materials and shades of purple used in the vest and the shirt and the jacket I thought were all very smart. this felt like a really, really nice runway for her. Also thought the makeup was done decently. Definitely gave Joker immediately. That's what told me initially what this was. Because when she came out with just the jacket, I was kind of like, what is that? And then I got it. Michelle saying, is she wearing stilts? She's not wearing stilts. She is tall. Naomi is a very tall queen. So this to me, I'm going to start off with like 4 flames. Let me know what y'all are thinking. 3, 4, 5. How many halves? Hi, Leo Beauty. Nice to see you in the chat. I want to point out I do have channel memberships turned on. You can become a member of the channel and give me a just the tip if you would like. You can get a higher membership and get your name in the credits of my videos. You also get a little flame icon by your name like Leo Beauty in the chat there. Seeing lots of 4s, lots of 3s. This for me was definitely 4 flame hot. I would have pushed this to a 5 if the hair felt more jokery. If I had seen a little more green, because to me, it's about the purple and the green. I don't really care about the orange. So y'all are pretty consistently about 4 flame hot as well. Let's give y'all a hot. Oh, thank you, Leo Beauty, sending 5 Bussy Queen gift memberships to. Wow, thank you so much. Yay! Thank you so much for sending those. It looks like Brouders, Jess, Gracie, Michelle, and Callie all got the gift memberships. Thank you so much, Leo Beauty. So sweet. I know they have cute little flames by their names in the chat. Yeah, this is a really strong look from Naomi, though. She's impressive every single week. I love her runways. Okay, next up, Lisa Smith. Also, hello. Welcome to the House of Transport. Beep, beep, toot, toot. Welcome in. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Okay, next up in the first silent movie acting challenge, we have Miss Zahira Zapanta, whose character in this film is of the dad. And the dad, of course, would be the one lacking the rent money here in this traditional nuclear family setup. And this to me struck me as an odd choice that she wanted and landed on the dad character. To me, that character immediately read as the boo-boo of the group, the one that was going to have the least to work with, because also visually, she ended up so aesthetically similar to what Kate Butch was doing as the villain. They have the same mustache, the same kind of suit. They're both wearing top hats. So for me, I was missing like some visual distinction between these two. And again, was there really a lot for her to work with in terms of playing up a dad character versus had she chosen the baby, had she chosen the mom or the villain? It just kind of seemed like she needed something to really push herself further here. It was subdued compared to everybody else. That said, I don't think she was bad. I think she did okay in this role. It just felt like she was here and everybody else was up here. But as the judges also later critiqued, you know, they were kind of splitting hairs in this challenge. Like, everyone did well. I really did enjoy this challenge. So this, to me, I would say, like, very safe. It was a very safe, hot performance for me tonight. Erla saying she needed a viewpoint. Leo Beauty saying meh. Lisa throwing in 2 flames. Michelle Yerbell giving 3 flames. C. Brunson saying didn't really like her performance besides the kiss scene. She did have the kiss scene with Kate Butch's character. Dev Panky saying you were shocked when Naomi was just high safe. Absolutely, I was too. Michelle saying I didn't think she trusted her acting chops and picked intentionally the smallest role thinking she could hide. That's a really great point. I think that's always a mistake with these small characters in Drag Race. And it's not that you're always going to be unsuccessful with the small character, but if you choose the smallest character, you have to do something, I think, to really set yourself apart, like we're all kind of talking about. So y'all are really about the 2-3 flame area in here. Gracie giving 3.5. I'm gonna hit these very safe hot for me. And maybe some of y'all are kind of in, like, you know, warming up safe areas. Okay, next up, Gustavo asking, am I not doing the polls today? We could do the polls today. I actually completely forgot to start doing the polls. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we'll start the polls here. Next up is Zahira Zapanta's Shevil villain runway, where she's half Mystique, half Scarlet Witch. Thank you for reminding me. There's a lot going on in this little head today. Thank you. Okay, here's your poll for Zahira's runway. Give me a hot, give me a rot. I saw a lot of noise for this runway online. So she's half Mystique here, transforming into the Scarlet Witch. If you're unfamiliar with the X-Men franchise, you may know this Mystique character. This is from, I think this is from the earlier versions of X-Men, but she's a character that can basically transform into other people, whoever, or I think whatever she wants even. And she's transforming halfway into the Scarlet Witch. I actually never saw the Scarlet Witch because there's like a Disney, I think, TV spinoff for the Scarlet Witch that I have yet to watch. This outfit, though, was sick. I love X-Men. I love everything about the halfway split look that she did. And she did a really good job, I think, of making both sides look really good. She didn't just half-ass one of them. I think lots of hots for her in the chat. Looks like y'all are at about 86% hot tonight. This, for me, I think if I were looking for an improvement, something about the Scarlet Witch side maybe could have been a little more dramatized, maybe a bigger hair over here as well, because Mystique is known for her slicked back hair. That's where she was going for on that half. But then the half with the Scarlet Witch, I just wanted maybe something a little more volume there. Bone Surf saying you were surprised to see actual licensed names on the show. Okay, some people saying 5, some people saying 3, some people saying 2s. I think a really good range. This was like an almost perfect look for me. I think a little more detail on the Mystique side with the scales would have been cooler, but overall this was really strong. I mean, I think she looks great. Michelle said this was excellent, and I don't even know about the Scarlet Witch, but the original X-Men Mystique, absolutely. ZZ saying I thought it was Mystique / Magneto at first. Nausea giving 3.5. I think for me, we're gonna say 4 Flame Hot. And y'all ended with 84% hot here. Atatron saying this is my favorite thing she's worn by far. I think this was absolutely one of the strongest looks that she's served on the show so far. For sure, for sure. Okay, next up we have Mariah, Forget the Paris, Balenciaga, who in the Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent silent film played the mother character. Where I thought at first she kind of looked like Orphan Annie with these like big doll eyes that she painted on, and then this like real curly red hair. I think she looked so visually distinct in this. I understood what she was going for here immediately. I loved how she was big in the facial expressions, the reactions. Every time the camera was on her, she was doing something interesting. I think she also gave something that some of the other characters didn't, and that was levels in this. We kind of talked about how Naomi was at like up here the entire time, which I enjoyed, but then Mariah was able to give up here, down here, and in the middle. I'm gonna give you your poll. So what y'all are saying. Y'all are giving 4 flames. B giving 4 flames. Lisa 4.5. I thought she was right on with Naomi, if not just a hair above for me personally. Callie throwing in 4. I think 4 is very good for her tonight. So I was kind of gagged actually when they got to the critiques and they didn't have Naomi and Mariah as the top 2, because it felt like they were working so well together as a duo, and I was just kind of upset for Naomi to not also receive the top critique tonight, because like, I think they both did pretty well. They'll say, is it fair to say that Mariah lost this to Naomi for me, especially because of the runway? Well, let's talk about that runway for sure. Because that runway was something else, mama. Okay, y'all ended at 90% hot. I think very fair for Miss Mariah. Let's talk about that runway where, girl, she was giving an iceberg that the Titanic hit. And now let me say, conceptually, going for the Shevil villain of the iceberg that sank the Titanic was a genius, like a stroke of genius, a stroke of lunacy. I think it was just so stupid and funny as a concept. As an execution, though, this was rotted front to back, top to bottom. I'm so sorry. This little coat she has on, she came out, I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. I thought it was a rotten blueberry. I thought it was a sleeping bag. I thought it was a pimple that was infected. I literally don't know. I did not know what it was until I saw her playing with that little boat. I was like, oh, she's supposed to be Titanic iceberg. Mama, what is that? Like, what is that? It's crazy. She's also wearing, I think, the same sparkly bodysuit now that she's worn several times in this competition, which we love a resourceful queen. We love that, getting some good use out of that bodysuit. I don't know, honestly, like, did she not have something prepared and this was something she worked up in the workroom? Was this something that I genuinely don't know where this came from or why this execution was so bad? This was crazy. Let me give you a poll. Mariah's runway, give me a hot or rot. Because the other thing is, like, if you're gonna have props on the runway, like this little Titanic boat that she's carrying around, it needs to be a part of the outfit. I feel like you cannot just carry a prop down the runway. Like, oh, I've got my lens cap. I'm a camera. That's what that, you know what, like, it's just like, what is that? I've got my pen. I'm a secretary today. I'm a secretary. Someone said she knew better. She did. She really did know better. And I don't know what possessed her in this moment here. Is what y'all are saying. Lisa Smith saying, I think Mariah's luggage got lost in customs. For her sake, I hope it did. Michelle saying she tried to save the outfit with her story, but the judges don't hear that. Callie saying, compared to the other girls, it's just disappointing. I agree. This from Mariah. She did so well in the challenge tonight, and this was just, I don't know what this was. The best part was the big necklace. You know, that was the jewel that the old lady dropped in the ocean from the movie. I understood that reference and why that was included, and that was the best part, really. Everything else was tough to look at. This for me, this is one flame. This is one flame territory. Okay, tell me what y'all are thinking down in the chat as well. Are you throwing in how many hot flames are you throwing in? Hopefully not for the runway. Gemini saying, I get the concept, the execution just wasn't there. Brenton saying her runway package seemed rushed. I think in some moments yes, in other moments no. Scribble said this is quiet quitting and it's iconic. I was trying to think, like, would this even work in a club? And I just don't. The iceberg thing to me is not recognizable. Like, I don't know who would recognize that. Okay, Bone Surf still giving out the 5 flames. Okay, I'm glad we have some 5 flames in the chat for Miss Mariah. Lisa saying the colors don't even look good together. It's a little bit of a mess. But we do love Mariah on this channel, okay? The mug looked great, as it always does. This look for me, though, is going to be a rot. Tough rot. I honestly, this one's 0 flame. That's a 0 flame for me, rot. Okay, let's see what the poll said. Y'all came in 87% rot. Nausea, you're saying, is it just mine that's lagging? Are you talking about the stream? Are you behind in time, or are you saying it's like looking choppy? What are you saying? Also, Nausea, let me know. You should, anyone that wants to try to catch up, there should be a button in the playhead thing where you can control what time you're at for the stream that says like jump to live or go to current or like a live button. And if you can't find that, you could always refresh and then try to get to the current, but you should be able to click a button like go to live. Guy saying the iceberg killed the stream. Y'all, we are on the Titanic stream, and the iceberg had done crashed and rotted the landing. So, let me see. The critiques from the judges. There was one judge that liked this, and that was Alan Carr. He said he loved the glacier. Alan Carr is always gonna support the girls, no matter what. No matter what. Love him. All right, next up, she is running up that hill, hopefully not crashing into the iceberg like we did. It's Kate Butch, who in Ain't Nothing But the Rent is playing the evil landlord coming to collect the rent money because the rent is due. Mangalaman, hello, welcome into the House of Transport. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Also, the cute little icon of your kitty is so precious. I get, maybe that's your kitty or maybe that's a meme kitty. I don't know. Either way, we love cats. I'm a cat girly. Absolutely love. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let me give y'all my little overview here. Kate, I thought, did a really great job in this challenge. Kate is an actor. She's a comedian. I think she understands timing quite well. I think Kate's character, though, as good as it was, felt very enhanced by props. And that's not a bad thing, right? But I do think her performance stood out because of all the different moments where she was able to play with the giant ledger, all the money that was due, the suitcase that came out with the eviction notice, the mustache reveal that was probably her idea, also very smartly implemented. So she had all these great visual cues that took her performance, I think, to the next level. Because I didn't think like her acting performance was notably that much better than the other queens, like not by a lot, but it was those smart little pieces that she had visually that brought it up for me. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for becoming channel member. Welcome to Just the Tip. Thank you for Just the Tip. Let's see what y'all are saying. I'm gonna give you your poll. Let me know what y'all are thinking about Kate Butch in the challenge. Give me your hot, give me your rot. Brian Hughes saying, I felt like Kate had the easiest role to make look good. Yeah, I agree with that. I think this was like the easy character pick, and she did a great job in it. I'm not saying she didn't, but this was like the role that I think Zahira needed to pick to like stand out, for example. This was the role that had, like I said, all these props, all these like easy things to go towards. You know, she's being the evil villain in this movie, and she played it well. Okay, let's see what y'all are saying. Y'all are 97% hot. I'm sitting at like 4.5, 5 as well. Batron saying she seemed the most like a real silent film actor. Saying 4 flames. I'm seeing 5 flames. Y'all are also at about 96% hot. I'm gonna give y'all a hot. Obviously gonna be a hot for me as well. Kate doing very well in the polls today. She has the highest hot rot percentage of any of the performers. So she's in your poll, she's at about 94, 95% hot, 6% rot. I want to know who the 6%. If you were the 6% rot, tell me why you think this was bad. I'm curious. Okay, next up we have Kate's Runway, which was paying homage to the Shevil villain, Thanos, that she made, Shevil. And Thanos is the, what is that, Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's the big purple dude with the glove that has like the crystals, the infinity crystals, I think they're called, that he's collecting to like snap and destroy the planet. I'll be honest, I have not seen that movie. This is just based on like my Googling of the character and then also my knowledge of the character from Carrie Colby. And I'm bringing up Carrie Colby here because this look is one of the finest, I think, drag looks to ever grace a red pink carpet, whatever this was. Carrie looks so great in this, and this is such a fun reference to do this like movie villain character as Tranos, she called it, where she had all these beautiful armor pieces, where she had this amazing glove from the character. The hair is also perfect for it. Like, Carrie ate this look, devoured it, destroyed it. And then to see Kate try to do this character as well, I was just a little surprised, I think, at the lack of attention to detail, the lack of effort put in. The armor pieces were giving very Spirit Halloween, off the shelf. And maybe these were custom, but for me, it's missing the detail. It's missing the elevation. It's missing the crystals. It's missing the glove. Like I said, I didn't even watch this movie, but I know that there's supposed to be a glove. And wait, where's the glove? Why is there not a glove? What's going on here? I think she missed an opportunity. Also, the makeup kind of confused me because she's not. It's like this like gray purple. It's not matching her body. It's a really big missed opportunity for me. Really big. I'm gonna give you your hot or rot. Okay, give me Kate's runway. Give me your hot. Give me your rot. Personally, this was the probably almost as weak as Mariah's tonight. I think she, at least she had a concept. At least she knew what she was doing, and it wasn't just blanket. I'm an iceberg. She had a little more effort than that. But for me, this was a rot. Hard rot. Did not enjoy this look from Kate. Let's see what y'all are saying. Callie said, "Where's the Infinity Gauntlet?" Good question. He gave 2 flames. Hi, Sparks Cast. How you doing? Welcome in. Nice to see you in the chat. Safalda said, if it wasn't for this crookedy runway, it would have easily been her week. 3 flames. Leo said, taken off a flame. 2. Cake said, okay, Thanos didn't always have the Infinity Gauntlet. He worked for it. Okay, good perspective there. Thank you for that, Cake. Like I was saying, I'm not really personally familiar with this character. I just know about Carrie Colby doing this character, and I've seen a little picture of him from the movie. And I don't know, it's hard when somebody has done something so well, like with Carrie, and then to see this, it's just hard to not be a little bit let down. And I know not everybody's gonna be as beautiful as Carrie, but like, come on now. Great, this is definitely gonna be a rot. I'm gonna give it one more rot. And it looks like y'all's poll is trending at 74% rot, ending it there. So I'm gonna give y'all a rot as well. Farscast said convention tees. Honestly, that's the thing, is like, if y'all look at Comic-Con conventions and stuff, the people attending these Comic-Cons have better costumes than whatever this is. And that's the tea. All right. Next up, we are moving into group number 2. Oh, this gagged me also. This was Michelle telling Kate that this look was so much more elevated. And I was like, elevated from what? I was just surprised to hear Michelle give this critique. That's all. Okay, next up, we have group number 2. This silent film was called Up the Aisle. And this is Serena Morena playing the lucky bride getting married. And let me say firstly, I found her bottom 3 placement today very confusing. I did not understand why she landed in the bottom for this. I found her performance to be quite entertaining. I also have to point out, they used her as the climactic event of the silent film, where they then broke the 4th wall and had her yell out. Actually, there's a verbal part in the silent film where she yells out. She is also the butt of the joke here, getting the cream pies to the face. I thought Serena at every single turn had really, look at this acting. Look at this acting. She's acting. She gave good face. I don't know. She was over the top for me in all the right ways. I thought surely, based on the performance she gave, that she was going to be in the top tonight. I did not understand her critiques. Let's see. We also even had the guest judge highlighting that there was a moment when she did the big slap, that it was one of the best fake slaps he had ever seen. And so I really enjoyed what Serena was doing. She was up there for me with Kate. She was up there with Naomi and Mariah. That probably would have been my top 3 if I were choosing. I think that this was just a week where the judges were seeing an opportunity to eliminate or put in the bottom whoever they wanted. And as we know, Serena's kind of been on the chopping block for them for quite a while now, skirting around that bottom 3 in and out of lip syncs. Let me give you your poll. Okay, it seems like some of the early, some of y'all's flames in the chat. We got 4 flames, 5 flames. Again, this was up there for me with some of the best tonight. I also think she was the best in her group. Definitely the best in her group. We'll talk about the other 2 here in a second, but she was very robbed to me. Very, very robbed tonight. The critique she got was the judges wanted her to push the acting in the challenge further. That was the negative critique. And I'm like, what more could she have done? Look, literally what? Hello? Seems like y'all are mostly agreeing. Y'all are coming in 85% hot for her. Hashtag justice for Serena Morena. I'm going to do a hot for Serena for me, and then a hot for Serena for y'all as well. Seems like we're all in the Serena was robbed train, period. She also had a really great night on the runway. She is paying homage to Mr. Freeze. If you aren't familiar, you should definitely go take a look at the 90s Batman movies that had Tim Burton working on them. This was Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Mr. Freeze here. And the costuming done is absolutely phenomenal. Serena looks incredible on this runway. The LED lights enhancing all these gorgeous armor pieces, those pearl details. Like, she didn't even need the lights. She didn't even need the pearl. Like, it's just so elevated, so next level. Easily, I think, one of the best in the entire runway tonight. It's not only beautiful, but I think it's a fun concept for her to take this masculine male character and turn it into a feminine one. There is just nothing wrong here to me at all. She ate this down so fiercely. Let me give you your poll for Serena's runway. And it's so crazy because last week she had that star look that was so phenomenal, looked so beautiful. This week she's got Mr. Freeze. Like, she has been on fire in the competition. And the judges said, we're going to Mr. Freeze the fire that you got going on this competition and put that shit out. Brian Hughes saying, Serena looks great. This is elevated. Exactly. This is like above and beyond even what I think we as viewers and fans would expect from an all-stars level runway like this, coming back to the competition. It's so great. Lots of flames. B throwing in too many flames to count in the chat. Callie saying her IG post was awesome too. Yeah, and this was a look that not only photographed well, but also just looked great on the runway. And y'all want to gag? Y'all want to really gag? So we looked at the critique that Michelle gave to Kate Butch, where she said, Kate, you look so elevated. Okay. This is what Michelle told Serena on the runway. Instead of just saying, like, damn, bitch, you look good. You look phenomenal. This look is amazing. This is sickening. Michelle said, I would have liked the face to be a little more silver. Like, what the hell are you even talking about? They were literally looking for, look at this. This is the reference photo, right? And that's Serena. Like, get the hell out of here, Michelle Visage, with that critique. Either Michelle is just like not familiar with the character from the movies, or she's blind. I don't know. It was so weird. It was so weird. And normally I'm like agreeing with Michelle a lot. I find myself really agreeing with her critiques, but this felt, again, like I think she was looking for anything she could possibly think of to throw a negative critique in her face. It just was wrong to me personally. Just said I can't. Callie said I was like STFU Michelle. Sojamatic said they're just feeding them the lines. Evan Smith saying Serena's outfit one of my favorite of all time. Yeah, I mean, it was really that good. So yeah, needless to say, I can't remember if I pressed the hot button yet, but we're gonna press the icy hot button. Icy hot, icy hot, icy hot, and we're gonna end y'all's poll at 95% icy hot. Okay, now that I've ranted and raved about Serena Morena enough tonight, sorry I had to, but she just like, I really fell in love with her. She's a queen that I, every single episode, found myself connecting with more and more and more, and then just to see her snuffed out like this just was so wrong. It was just wrong, honestly. Bye, Michelle. Okay. Next up, oh my god, it's Goblin, who in the Up the Aisle movie was playing the creepy villain character who was trying to marry Serena's bride character. And Goblin tonight, I thought, did well. I think she gave a little more levels than, like, let's say Fontana. However, again, I thought Serena was the standout. Goblin did well though. Right, this was kind of on like the Zahira level for me tonight, maybe slightly above Zahira's level. So I would say this is like probably sitting at like 3.5 to 4 for me. The issues I had with this character were I found it very visually similar to Fontana's ugly mother character. And they were doing a lot of the same thing. They were doing a lot of this like body movement thing. You can kind of see, and it works in these moments, but it's just this like almost constant movement. And I was just like, can we take a chill pill for 1 second? That's what I was looking for. Let me give you your poll. Okay, Goblin's creepy villain trying to marry the bride. Give me your hot, give me your rot. Tell me why in the chat. ZZ said it was more acting silly with a little bit of character versus acting the character with some silly. That's a really, really insightful analysis there. I agree with that wholly. I mean, because Goblin is funny. You know, Goblin is one of those people that I think is just going to be funny almost no matter what. She's very animated. She knows how to... she knows how to get the cameras on her and stuff. But this was more Goblin than character, I agree. Okay, I'm seeing some 2s, seeing some 3s, 3.5. Lisa Smith saying, I love Goblin. She's so chaotic. That chaotic energy served her well tonight for sure. Okay, so I'm going to leave this with like a very safe 3.5 flame. And it looks like y'all are polling at about 65% hot. And I'm seeing lots of about 3 flames in the chat for her. 2.5, 3 flames for y'all, but safe hot for y'all nonetheless. Hey, on the runway though, this one was really interesting. Goblin is paying homage to the high witch character from the 90s version of the Witches movie, where this is her stylistic reference here. You may be more familiar though with the current or the more current movie that was starring Anne Hathaway. That honestly, I didn't love how they did the witch's makeup in that movie, but again, this was the original, and this is what Goblin was going for. So this explains how she has this like prosthetic reveal from the normal face to the witch face, because in the movie, they do shift from looking like normal humans into these crazy goblin-looking witches. This I thought was just so smart. Goblin is so good at giving us a show on the runway. The presentation, I think, is phenomenal of how she did this. My one issue with the presentation was I want her to spend a little more time at the beginning of the runway with the pretty face prosthetic, because she comes out and just immediately tears it off. Granted, I can see she had that giant witch nose underneath, so maybe she was having issues hiding it under that, and that's why it needed to come off. But I would have liked to have seen that outer prosthetic a little bit longer. This for me was really good tonight. The costuming maybe could have been a little more interesting, but I think it was so true to the reference. It was so visually stunning. It was so beautifully ugly. I really loved what she did tonight. Definitely going to be a hot for me. Let me give you y'all's run. Let me give you your poll. So Goblins, Witches, Runway. Give me your hots. Give me your rots. Tell me why. Gemini Twin saying, I thought the same thing. She should have had on the prosthetic for a little bit more than maybe taking it off in the middle of the stage. But then again, they do the runway 3 times. Yeah, I don't know how many they do the runway at least 2, maybe even 3 times now. So maybe she got tired of taking that on and off. Definitely a consideration here. I think very cool of her to do such an iconic reference. I think a lot of like 90s babies, 80s babies are going to really resonate with this. For me, it's definitely like 4 flame hot as presented. Okay, y'all's poll. Y'all really loved this. About 92% hot for y'all. Lots of 4s, 4.5s. I'm going to give y'all looking like 4.5 to 5 in the chat. There's your hot for that. Okay, next up, don't you wanna? It's Fontana, who in the challenge is playing like the ugly mother character. who had some saggy tatas and was not afraid to let us see them. So Fontana chooses this character because she wants to be a little ugly tonight, as she says, I'm so beautiful and pretty and I want to do something different. And I thought her acting in this was over the top in the way that it needed to be for the silent film, but also very one note. This was the one critique Michelle gave tonight on the main stage that I really agreed with, and it was she was just playing with her tatas way too much. She was like obsessed with having them, and every single shot she's either shaking them, shaking her shoulders, jumping up and down. It was just the same thing over and over and over, and there were no levels. There was no interesting dynamic added to this character other than this over and over. Let me give you your poll. I see y'all are finding the rot emoji. Yes, use that rot emoji. The channel members do have access to the flame and rot emojis, so if y'all want to be able to send those, that's where those are coming from. Okay, Fontana challenge, give me your rots, tell me why. Lisa giving 3 rots. Michelle giving 1 rot. And also, if you want to join the channel and get the little flame icon by your name, you can become a member by clicking the join button. Thank you again to all of our new channel members today. Jess giving 1 rot. Callie giving 2 rots. We're going negative here. We're going negative here. That's crazy. This, for me, I would have to probably leave with about 1 out of 5 here tonight. This was just a very weak performance, and I just really want her to get more levels, so I'm gonna hit the rot button for me. Gape Gods, did you have a joke for me? You said, what do you call a gay mullet? I don't know. I'm gonna end your poll. Y'all are at 79% rot for this performance. Okay, on the runway though. Fontana, gag me the house down boots, yes God. This look is paying homage to the iconic Shevil villain Tiffany from The Bride of Chucky. And this look was so perfect to me. So amazingly on brand for who this doll is. I love the way she dragged up elements of this costume. The jacket with the really big 80s shoulders. The bloody dress at the bottom. The way it fits around the giant tata is very appropriate again for this character. Even those knee-high boots, I think with the red in them, are just such great details. I love also how Fontana dragged up the hair, right? She kind of is known for having this flatter wave, and she put this more bridal curly hair on top. Very smart changes to this to elevate the character into a drag race ready runway. She talked about wanting to do this character because she said Tiffany's actually one of her doppelgangers that she consistently gets told she looks like. Let's see what y'all are saying. Jess said the boots are fire. Yeah, the boots are so cool. I love that she didn't just do like a plain black pleaser boot, because we see that all the time, and it's a great way to complete a look, sure. But having the red in there, just so smart. So detail oriented. The makeup also, if you get really close, like the way she painted the eyebrows looking like the doll, it kind of disappears on the further camera, but the close-ups are so great. Also loved how, so Tiffany has this gold necklace here that says her name Tiffany, and Fontana did it as Fontana. This was genius to me. I think fans of Chucky, fans of this character are gonna really just resonate with this really well. Okay, I am surprised. Y'all are giving 10% rot. Who is hitting the rot button? Who's doing that? Let's see what, okay, what are y'all saying? Jess giving in 5 flames. ZZ 5 flames. Callie throwing in 5 flames. Okay, if whoever pressed rot, I need to know why. Tell me in the chat why somebody even would think about pressing the rot button on this. That's crazy. I need explanations. Explain yourself. Again, there's the reference for you. Okay, we have some explanations from our rots tonight. Let's see. Hillary said, I thought it was boring, but you're not a Chucky fan. Okay, Manga saying, as someone who didn't know the franchise, this looks plain to you. I can see why if you didn't know this reference, this maybe wasn't something that you thought was super cool. Anyone who loves horror, which I know a lot of gay people love horror, hello, you have to go watch the Chucky movies. They are a little scary, sure, like in some ways, but as the franchise got older, it just really started to get campier and campier. I mean, it's like it's killer dolls, you know, it's very silly and its premise, and they are fun movies. Definitely recommend checking out. I think Fontana absolutely destroyed this. Definitely hot for me. I'm an Angel's poll. Y'all are at 89% hot. Okay. Which brings us to our placements for the episode. And called out as safe are Naomi and Goblin. Again, I really thought that tops probably should have been Serena, Naomi, and maybe Kate. That could have been a really great top three. Instead, we see Zahira, Serena, and Fontana called out as the bottom three. Okay, let me know what y'all are thinking about these placements. Do you agree with these? Who would have been in your tops? Who would have been safe? Who would have been in the bottom? I think a very fair bottom could have been Zahira, Fontana, and then this is where it gets tricky for me. Maybe Goblin should have been in the bottom. And I think there was a lot of really good performances tonight. The separation of the performances was very small. But I just do not understand why Serena was not in the top. She was definitely one of my best tonight. Mariah does get the win tonight. And this is something I was honestly like happy with. I was so thrilled that Mariah was able to finally, in 3 seasons of Drag Race over 15 years, get a win in a challenge. Absolutely thrilled for her. But was this the best winner choice? Let me know what y'all thought in the comments below. Sound off in the chat. Okay, so let's see. Tell me who your tops and bottoms would be in the chat. Just saying the judging is rot. Oh, CJ talking about the Chucky movies. They are silly and fun. Only the first 2 and the bride are actually good. I would agree with that. Gabe saying rigged. Sparks saying, I'm happy the USA finally got a win. That's another great point. Mariah getting a win here was definitely the first win for the USA representation. Peabody saying, Naomi, Goblin, and Mariah were your tops. Goblin there surprises me. I think even a good tops could have been like Serena, Mariah, Naomi. This was tough because I think like Kate was in there as well. Like there were so many good options here for who could be in the top. Michelle, your bell. Thank you so much for sending in 5 gift memberships to the channel. Looks like those were sent to Danny, Gabe, Sparkscast, MM, and Brune. Congratulations on the gift subs. Thank you so much, Michelle, for sending those out, and for the new channel members who now have the little flame icons by their names. Thank you so much. That's so sweet, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for always coming to the lives, always being in the chats, sending super chats, sending gift memberships. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, Lucy said her bottoms would have been Fontana and Zahira. I actually think that that would have been a much more fair bottom 2 for sure. Okay, so our bottom 3 ends up being, though, Zahira, Fontana, and not Kate, why did I say that? Zahira, Serena, and Fontana. And in Untucked, Miss Mariah has a tough decision to make with the Chippy tea. And we kind of hear the same thing that we've been hearing from the queens who were in the bottom 3 about why they want to stay. We have the, I've got so much to show. I'm representing this. I'm representing that. And Zahira, Zahira was, giving a good performance, I think pleading her case here, but Serena was not buying it. This is a shot of her giving this like side eye kind of confused face to Zahira as she explains that she has so much left to show. It sounded like she was trying to cry or about to cry, but then never actually had any tears, as we hear Serena call out in a confessional. She's like, the face is dry. And I think, you know, both can be true. I think Zahira was very upset in this moment to be having to plead her case. But she also, as Serena calls out, wasn't crying. So we also hear Serena saying the world needs to see more of me. I think it would have been a very tough choice to give the Chippy tea to Serena, though, because she's been in and out of this bottom three so many times now, and she already has gotten the Chippy tea once. So would it have been fair for Mariah to give the Chippy tea to Serena? Probably not. And then, of course, we had Fontana in the bottom three as well. Another queen who's been in and out of the bottom three now a couple of times. She tells Mariah that she would love to keep inspiring people and wants to continue to change the world with her. Which brings us to our Chippy tea decision. Let me know who y'all would have given the Chippy tea to. Personally, again, because I thought Serena should have been in the top tonight, I would have given it to her. That's just how I felt. I think she had one of the better performances. So Mariah ultimately does decide to give the Chippy tea to Miss Zahira, which did not surprise me at all, considering track records, considering who's gotten the Chippy tea before. And Zahira, you know, had a decent performance tonight. It certainly was not bad at all. And this was her first time getting the Chippy tea. Another great reason to give it to her. And I also think that there's a little bit of an alliance cooking up in the background between Zahira and Miss Mariah. So they seem to be kikiing a little bit and being friends. Okay, which brings us to the insane lip sync of this episode, which is between Fontana and Serena to Axel F, which is the Crazy Frog song that you may or may not have known going into this, but which is an absolutely insane song to do for a lip sync. Tell me what y'all thought about this lip sync in the comments below. The first thing that gags me about what was going on was Serena coming out in that outfit with the orange hair and the green and like the reflective silver. I was like, did she press random on the sim randomizer? Was she just going for something completely crazy? Like, I did not understand why she came out looking like that. But then as soon as the song started playing, it made sense for me and I got what she was doing. But it was just so campy, so stupid, and so insane of her to look like that. And like, she had one of the best, if not the best runways tonight, and then also one of the like most insane looking looks in the entire season so far with this. Chris, hello, welcome to being a channel member. Welcome to Just the Tip. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Okay, let's see what y'all are saying about this lip sync. Let me know who you thought did better. So Serena, okay, here's my thoughts on Serena's lip sync. I loved how in the beginning she pulled out the piece of paper with the lyrics on it as if it was hard to know the lyrics for ding, 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 ding over and over, right? I mean, just so campy of her to do that. She was down doing the frog pose. She was hopping up and down. She, I think, had some elements of her lip sync that didn't quite work, though, and that was the wig reveal. Because she has, like, scissors, and she's, like, trying to cut the wig or something, and then it just kind of falls off. And so I really would have liked to have seen her try one or two less things. I think she tried to do a little too much in this, because she also had the little tongue blower. Let me know what y'all thought. I'm going to give y'all a poll for who you thought won the lip sync. Okay, and tell me why in the chat who you thought won the lip sync. Explain. So again, personally, I thought Serena did really great in this, but I thought it was just a little like one too many things that she tried to do and they weren't all successful. Fontana, I thought this was a perfect lip sync for her to bring her level 9000 insane energy to. She had some really great dance moves. I thought she was more dynamic. I thought her little props were all successful, like the mustache, the little hairkini down in the bottom. I think Fontana's dancing was consistently better than Serena's, whereas Serena was doing a lot of like hopping around as the frog. Serena kind of was a little one note by the end of it, as entertaining as it was. I do think that Fontana, for me personally, won this lip sync. And I think the judges were very fair in calling that out. Let's see what y'all are saying. Chris said, Serena won that lip sync. Gabe said, both were sloppy and you were bored. Okay. Magnus said, Serena deserved it. Danny saying, Serena. Lisa saying, I'm going to miss Serena's you're going to miss Serena's confessionals. Me too. Jet Baker said, Serena's kind. That gets my vote. I mean, look. It's no secret I've been talking about how much I love Serena this whole video, how much I thought that she should have been in the top this week, how much I thought she even could have had the win in the challenge and all that. But in this lip sync, I do think she fairly lost. I think it sucks sometimes, you know, when we want a certain queen to stay. Like last week with Sminty, I mean, I was rooting for Sminty to stay, of course. Like I wanted her to stay, but she didn't know the lyrics. And when you're in a lip sync for your life, as Michelle says, you know, you got to know your words. Or in this case, you got to give a really solid and consistent performance. Now, let's see. Y'all are polling at about 64%. Fontana wins the lip sync, 36 for Serena. I think that's very fair, but I think this was entertaining as hell. I love when Drag Race gives the queens something different to lip sync to that's not just a top 40 hit or, you know, a song that was popular 20 years ago. As good as those can be, we need this stuff to keep the franchise fresh, to keep lip syncs interesting. Because the truth is, when you go to the club and you see queens performing, they're not always just doing a song. They're doing mixes. There's spoken word. Spoken word is a huge part of drag. And that has been implemented so few times on Drag Race. It's criminal, truly, for how prevalent it actually is in drag. So, you know, I was happy to see this insane lip sync. As my final thoughts on this challenge, though, I really loved I really loved them trying something new with it. The silent film thing I thought was a great way to approach an acting challenge for a group of international queens that have different levels of English speaking capability. It allowed everybody to just act with their emotions, their facial expressions, and their body instead of relying on learning lines and letting accents or anything like that get in the way. I would love to see the silent film challenge implemented on more versus the worlds, more international seasons, and even the regular seasons. I thought it was all very smart the way they did this. Of course, I don't think the judging was fair. And the judging was very like the judges just wanted a challenge that could allow them to make any decision they wanted, which is what I kind of think happened here. So yeah, Fontana does get the Shantae. Serena gets the sachet away. And this is really sad, but also like what a crazy look to say goodbye in. It's so crazy. And she gives us a really sweet mirror message. I'm really gonna miss her. She's so congenial. Such a great queen. I would love to see her back on some future season of All Stars or Versus the Worlds or something like that. Because she's proved that she's got a lot to show. And she's got an interesting viewpoint on drag. And also, I think she just kind of got better and better every single week. You know, she was somebody that felt like she took a minute to warm up. And as much as she was dancing around that bottom three and stuff, I really loved her by the end of it all. Okay, let's talk hottest hots. So let me know in the challenge. I'm going to give y'all a few options for your hottest hot. So in the challenge, it seems like everybody was voting for the most to have the best flames. Serena and Kate, Mariah, and Naomi. Those seem to get the best reactions from y'all tonight. And I can only put 4 options on this YouTube poll. So go ahead and vote in that. Tell me who your hottest hot in the challenge was. Tell me why in the chat. I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots, and they voted for Miss Kate Butch in the challenge. Looks like y'all's poll is going to be majority Kate Butch in the challenge as well. I'm also putting my Patreon link in the chat as a pinned message. My Patreon is my exclusive member community where you get access to bonus content like my live reactions to every episode of Drag Race that I review. So you can watch along with me to the best parts of the episode, as well as where you can see hottest hot polls and vote every single week for my other main channel videos as well. And of course, the Patreon is what keeps this Bussy running. And I wanted to say thank you to all of my Patreon members for supporting me over these many years that y'all have been supporting the channel. Thank you. Okay, my hottest hot tonight. This was kind of tough for me between Kate, Mariah, and Naomi. I was really happy to see Mariah get the win. I really was. But the two standouts, if I had to pick two, were Naomi and Kate. And then, honestly, I enjoyed Naomi's performance the most out of those two. So, that's where I'm sitting. Over on the runway, though, my hottest hot is going to go to Fontana. I think I'm very biased because I love the Tiffany character from The Bride of Chucky so much. I also did do a Tiffany drag look several years ago. She's just so iconic. And my patrons on the runway this week voted for Zahira Zaponta's Mystique and Scarlet Witch look. I'm going to give y'all a poll for that as well. So again, I can only put 4 options on the poll, so I'm going to give you Zahira, who did the Mystique and Scarlet Witch look. Fontana, who did Tiffany. Also, shout out to the sirens that constantly plague my videos from New York City. I don't know if y'all can hear those in the background, but they are just always going. And Serena. I can only give you 4 options. There's your 4. Give me your hottest hot on the runway tonight. Tell me who was your favorite. Tell me why. Again, my patrons ended up voting for Zahira Zapanta for her Mystique and Scarlet Witch look. My personal was Fontana's Bride of Chucky. I think we were really blessed and lucky to have, honestly, so many good runways tonight. This was a really fun runway. I love this. Love, love, love the concept. So many good looks, so many good queens, and honestly, such a good episode. This was enjoyable from a runway perspective, from a challenge perspective, from a lip sync perspective, from a mini challenge perspective. I think this was like quintessential Drag Race for me. They hit every pillar of what makes an episode good and exciting. The only thing that obviously sucked for me was the way they judged the challenge. I just was not happy with seeing Serena in the bottom and then seeing her go. But I mean, overall, this was, I think, a phenomenal episode of Drag Race, and the queens are giving us great television. So make sure y'all go support the queens, follow them on socials, give them your messages, give them your comments, all that stuff. So it looks like y'all's vote is also for Zahira for the Mystique Scarlet Witch look. 43% voting for Zahira's Mystique, 15% for Fontana's Tiffany, 24% for Goblin's Witches, and then 18% for Serena's Mr. Freeze. Okay, and lastly, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate everybody that tuned into the live. voted in the polls. We're chatting it up in the chats. And then also everybody who became a channel member today as well to get the special member benefits of the icons next to your name with the flame, the special emojis you can use. I really appreciate all the support. I've been having a lot of fun making these live Hot or Rots with y'all. And I think every single week they're getting better and better as we get more and more people engaged. And yeah, they're a lot of fun. So thank you for allowing me to be experimental in trying a new format for my show now that I've been doing for 5 or 6 years, and just trying something new. You know, this is kind of reviving my excitement about making these videos, that I can make them with y'all and it becomes a community thing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously. I also want to give an extra special shout out to some of my patrons. Specifically, we have Gaz Sutherland, Riley Hopper, and Friday, who've just joined my Patreon at the hot tier. We also have at the Bussy Queen Collector tier. And by the way, my Patreon is my member community where you get access to those hottest hot polls. You get access to my reaction videos every single week for every episode I review. And supporting me at the Bussy Queen Collector tier, we have Felicia, Laura, Harvey's China, Miss F. Neely, Matthew Burns, Will, and Tanner, and Matthew R. N., who are all supporting me at the Bussy Queen Collector tier. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Much love to you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. This video is going to go live on the channel tomorrow, so look out for that so you can watch it as well, the edited down version. Okay, see you later. Love you. Bye.